Ben Elton has written a string of best-selling books, musicals and sitcoms, including The Young Ones, Blackadder and The Thin Blue Line.
But now he's going back to stand-up, to his comedy roots, preparing to embark on a new tour this summer. And this time he's taking aim at modern life. Good morning, Ben.
This time?
Yes.
Well, it was always modern life, but
I
this
spent my life taking aim at that.
This is one specific aspect. This is technology, right?
No, not at all. No, I'm glad to be able to clear that up. Look, the tour's called Authentic Stupidity because it occurred to me that with us all terrified, and I think kind of rightly so, about the potential harm that what they're calling artificial intelligence can do, I thought, yeah, I think that is a threat. But I think probably a greater threat to humanity is the same one it's always been, which is authentic stupidity. And I've been our own, and I've been kind of basically riffing on that all my life. And this tour's no different. I'm on tour again as a brand new show all over the country, from the southwest up to Aberdeen in the north and both sides. 60 dates, and at 65, that's a lot of... and it's in the autumn. It starts in September. But yeah, authentic stupidity is really what comedians live off and die by, and I'm not ready to get there yet. So, yeah, it's what I do. I'm doing another show. And, yeah, I'll certainly be talking about... because I think technology has made us stupider. I mean, we can't find our way from the bedroom to the bathroom without sat-nav. You know, it's funny, like, we're getting stupider and the machines are getting cleverer, and so I guess there's certainly a lot of comedy to be found there.
But it's scary.
Yeah, I think I'm a serious... and my comedy has always, you know, taken serious stuff and tried to find the funny, because funny is not some palliative, some sticking plaster that you put on the grimness of life. Funny is at the heart of it. Fun is part of tragedy. You know, the Greeks divided tragedy and comedy as if they were two separate muses. I never really understood that, because they were quite clever on the whole. To me, you only got to think of, from Charlie Chaplin to Eric and Ernie to The Office to Ab Fab, you know, the relationship between the mother and daughter in Ab Fab. There's so much tragedy there, but there's so much comedy, you know. So yeah, I think there is a terrifying side to what's happening with AI. And you know, if it was a James Bond plot, I think, honestly, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, James Bond, a bunch of unelected billionaires in California have invented a machine that's rendering humanity redundant. He'd be in his speedboat with his Glock 45 in a second. And we're just going...
he wouldn't be able to do anything about it.
Well, yeah, we're just all sitting back going, oh, apparently it's going to be able to write a new Beatles song. It's going to put us out of work.
Yeah. Does it worry you day to day? Do you worry about your phone safety, about all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I think everyone does. I mean, I'm not on social media, so I don't have that pressure. Not at all. I'm on none of it. And it's only because I value my sanity. I mean, I've spent my life, frankly, being trolled. I mean, I don't want to make a big thing, but I've certainly had a lot of things said about me in the press for 42 years, and not always very nice. And the idea of sort of saying, hey, here's my direct line, why don't you just tell me how much you hate... You know, I mean, obviously there's a lot of love, but as we all know, if you hear 10 people say, oh, you're really nice, and then one person is mean, that's all you remember. And I think everyone's experiencing that now. The funny thing is, you know, you used to have to be in the public eye to sort of get anonymous, you know, rubbish thrown at you.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
But now it happens to kids in schools. Yeah, it's very scary. I actually think we need to legislate more heavily about what tech companies impose on us. We need to look at the social and economic implications of what they just throw out there in the market. The smartphone. I knew exactly where that was going. The moment I heard that, you know, everyone said, hey, democracy, it's going to be saved by the internet. Everyone can have their say. Yeah, exactly. And what you know, we're now so stupid that we can't tell the difference between verifiable facts and undiluted, you know, hate speak, and it's all just coming at you at once. Yeah, it's a scary time, and that's why we need comedy.
I love reading about your tour when you said that actually you don't always enjoy touring. Is that the right way to put it? You find it hard, basically. It's not like you bounce out on stage and feel ridiculously comfortable and happy and jolly. It's still a challenge.
I think most performers of any sort would say that. You know, of course there's an enormous satisfaction about delivering something that people appreciate. But it is hard, and for certainly doing what I do, which is two and a half hours of very carefully written and curated ideas that all... You know, I'm not making it up as I go along. I mean, there's elements of riffing that happen on stage, but basically this is a big set of ideas that I want to bring together to culminate in an evening of comedy. Yeah, it is hard. You know, it's like I'm so lucky. My job's doing what I love, writing, performing, but I always compare it to somebody who's in sports. You know, they might like crossing that finishing line, but the training and the race, you know, I don't know how much you'd enjoy a long-distance marathon, you know, but it's what you have to do. And I mean, I'm not making any particular direct comparisons, but I do it alone on stage, a lot of pressure on the voice. But for me, the pressure is always about making myself understood. That wonderful song from the 60s, The Animals, you know, oh, Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. And that's what I'm feeling every moment on stage, because I'm edging close to a lot of subjects which, you know, as we're discussing this morning, people now feel they can say that makes me feel unsafe, that makes me feel worried. These are interesting times to be a communicator of ideas, and yeah, I can't wait to get back amongst it, but it'll be a hard autumn, you know.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because like, there's so many the new generation of young comedians who are coming through, who are doing tours at the moment, have come through social media. They start making those little reels and videos and one-to-one. Do you think if you were starting now, I guess you would... Oh, there's no doubt. You would have to do that. If I was starting now, of course I mean, I'm so lucky that I don't have to go on. I mean, look, I'd sell more tickets. If I'd spent the last 10 years curating a Twitter following, if I had a couple of million followers, as most of the people from my generation who are on Twitter, you know, do... You know, that'd be great. I could tell them all, hey, I'm on stage. I'd still come and see you. Definitely. But, yeah, I mean, there are huge advantages, and but I'm lucky that the marketing one is one I would embrace and I would love. But it's much as I would love to expand my audience in that way. You know, I was talking to Jimmy Carr. He said, you know, you should put clips of your old acts up and you know, you could really build something very quickly. But,
he's right,
yeah,
he could.
I think so, but I'm lucky. I can still get on BBC Breakfast when you'll have me, not always, but, you know, and so I'd just rather not go there. I'd spend my life on it. I'd spend my life thinking, I've been misunderstood, and I can do without that.
And what do you think the audience reaction is going to be to this material? Because, as you mentioned, we're in a very strange time, aren't we? General election coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Very divided opinions on lots of things. How do you think how will this tour go down?
Yeah, it's going to be a weird one. Are we on a road that's going to be the US election, which is unquestionably the most important election in, I think, the history of the Western world, if that's a phrase we use anymore? I don't know if we do. No, clearly not. But anyway, whatever. America's still the big one. And we're having our own incredibly important election. I mean, my act is never... Of course, there's a little bit of politics, you know that. But I think I'll get the same reaction I always do, because I'll make sure that what I do is funny. And I don't curate my audience. And I know lots of people see my show and say, oh, I don't feel the way you do politically, but I love the show. And that's great. You know, thank goodness we do still live in a world where we do value the idea that people can have different opinions and can exchange ideas and can learn from each other. You know, I mean, I've got Tory friends, you know, and I embrace them. And I certainly hope there'll be, you know, every type of person come and see my show. I think because I always try and hedge any contentious idea with a very reasonable approach to it, you know, I certainly don't deal in what we now call punching down, but what I used to just call bad comedy, which is massaging prejudice and relying on the audience's an element of the small-mindedness in us all to get a laugh. I don't exploit the smallness in us all. I celebrate the smallness in us all.
Ben, it is lovely to talk to you. Best of luck with it. And Ben is on tour around the UK and Ireland in the autumn, as we said.